Well,
John, you've had so much time.
we've started. We gotta go. Just go. He can catch
All
up.
right. Who wants to catch us up on that?
I don't know. Sean had all the notes.
Okay. I'm on
Oh
it.
my god, he gets up and leaves. Just yeets.
We started last session with us climbing up the mountain, fighting those plants that
Plant
were talking.
monsters.
Yes. Well, a lot of us rolled terribly. And I'm pretty sure like the whole session was pretty much this battle.
Yep.
That's pretty much what I have too.
They wrapped you up good though.
I just remember that whatever Elle was doing was like
The moonbeam.
the MVP of
Mhm.
last session.
We also had Cam cast a sleep spell, and ended up being the only one affected by the sleep spell.
That made it into your notes.
Got it in one.
Too good to leave out.
Cam also got like eaten by one of the.
We don't need to go over all of the
Yeah.
missteps that I took.
We became a living Tums, and we're like,
The antacid.
that was great.
I
And
feel
then
like-
you crossed out.
Everybody got for my recollection, everybody got tied down and couldn't move because they were all
Yes. Oh
restrained.
my gosh.
Yep,
So-
I was.
That
stuck in
happened
the
a
same
lot.
spot.
Yeah.
Sir Basil had a great time with that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Meanwhile, Rosemary was in a ball, just like
Only for a little bit,
so.
until I was criticized harshly.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's some spice in the good berries today.
But all I know is we got interrupted, so we didn't get our sleep as jingle jangling is heading this way. And I think Dace, who is out of commission, was the one that noticed.
Yeah, it was Dace and Basil on watch.
Mm-hmm.
Dace noticed first, Basil later, but we hear from a distance or from up the path. And I assume that doesn't mean that we can see them, but we can hear them. Jingle jangle of
Amen.
possibly multiple people wearing armor. And that's where we ended.
Also, don't forget that Cam went unconscious yet again.
Yes, he
Figured
did.
out one of your potions did, and you have a
And-
second of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I nearly killed him
Yeah.
by healing him.
We'll talk that one out.
I went back to the video just to watch that one part.
Everyone's face is like, what?
I love seeing everyone's
Yeah.
face of shock. It's my favorite thing. Anyway,
Sorry, the last episode was up a little late. I waited till I was feeling better before I got him.
oh yeah, no, totally.
That is completely fair. There.
So.
But yeah, so we pick up with in about halfway into your first watch. It was Dace and Sir Basil on the side of this mountain. You can think of it kind of like you're closer to. You've been walking for some time up this mountain, and it's slow going when you're walking up. Think about how fast you can walk normally versus how fast you can walk up a hill. But you've made a lot of progress, even though you had a skirmish with some plants. As you had been walking up, you've noticed that before where the road was kind of not very friendly to foot traffic, big boulders in the way here and there, having to navigate around. Now it is more well-trodden. Which kind of gave, I forget who had the good survival check, but it gave you an indication that you were likely getting close to something that's more maintained, possibly something that's a little closer to where you're going, to the bandit hideout itself. Where you are now, at night on the side of this mountain into your first watch, the vegetation is quite sparse here. You were able to make camp under one of like the very few kind of tall, like spindly little trees that are here. And you can think of where you are kind of like you're a little ways away from what you would imagine like a hairpin turn. So you're maybe like 50 meters away from a curve where you can't see the other side of. Sitting on this cliff face looking out. with the rock going up behind you. The road is a little more comfortable here. It's a little wider. You're not in danger of like rolling over in your sleep and falling off, for example. But it still is like a mountain road with no guardrails. And it was Dace and Sir Basil on watch while the rest of you bedded down. And you did hear some low voices and some jingle jangles coming from up and around the turn. So hearing that kind of coming steadily towards you, what do you want to do?
Can the group remind me? Did we set up full camp? Like we would have had a campfire and stuff like that going, or was it just like we got there, we were so tired, we just walked out and we had 2 people on watch? Because we broke up the group based on those who have like night vision.
What would you do, Basil?
I feel like it would have made sense to have
I feel like
a campfire.
I feel like Mrs. Q would have wanted one so she can make dinner. So
Okay. All right. So let's just for picture sake, we're against the rock cliff, you know, like we're all sleeping, we have a campfire, and it's me and Dace. I would think that hearing the noise and realizing that someone is approaching, Sir Basil would like try and like as quickly as he can put out the fire and like as quietly as he can like rush over to the people sleeping and try and like wake them, but like not startle them, but like shh, like listen, and then try and like I guess hide, but see if we can like get the jump on the people that were gonna immediately turn and like meet us.
Okay. So yeah, easy enough to kind of like wake up your party stealthily. Like I said, you're 50 meters away from the curve. So yeah, it's easy enough to wake them up stealthily enough that it's not going to echo or anything like that. However, if you are going to be approaching closer to the curve to try and get the jump on these people, then I'm going to need a stealth check as well as whoever is joining you.
If you wake me up and you're kind of like, shh, be quiet, I'm going to go invisible.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Did you wake everybody up or just?
Yeah, I assume I went up to everyone and just like, shh, and like gave you a signal to listen, someone's coming.
I'll come with you stealthily just as support.
Okay.
And like you hear Apoc walking side by side. There's an additional like jingle, jingle. But his talent in the dark at staying quiet and stealthy kind of outweighs it, and it's not as noticeable as a normal person may or may not be.
Cool.
So I've got disadvantage with my armor, but advantage because I'm a trash panda in the dark.
Oh, got it. All right. So whoever is approaching, I'll take some stealth rolls, Cam, with advantage because you're invisible. And then Elle and Mrs. Q.
Elle is gonna follow a little more at a distance, but she's gonna follow as well.
Mrs. Q will follow, but with Elle.
Okay, so I'll get stealth rolls from you both if you are still approaching.
I rolled 2 4s and for a total of 12.
Okay, 12.
19.
19.
Rolling with advantage?
No, it was only for Cam because he's invisible.
That's okay.
Because it's still dark, right?
It is still dark,
Yeah,
yes. It's like, it was an hour into your first watch kind of deal.
I feel like I'm stepping on every dead branch that's on the ground.
Same. I have a
12.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Oh my God.
12, 5. What was that, Mrs. Q?
9.
Oh boy. Elle?
14.
Apoc?
19.
Oh boy. And then for Dace.
It's like the one thing I do.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Okay.
This would have been smart.
So just as a reminder, nobody got a long rest here.
Yes.
As a reminder. So as you are all sneaking up, man, those of you that went close didn't roll great.
Mm-hmm.
Speak for yourself.
Oh boy. Well,
Such a racket.
so the jingle jangle doesn't really come into play. However, your invisible friend Cam is stepping on kicking every pebble. And then you hear, as you're all kind of getting into position, Basil's shield just like drops and clangs on a rock next to him.
Sir Basil's like, sorry.
As you're all kind of like just sort of around the edge, you hear the voices kind of stop.
Can Mrs. Q do something?
You are a bit farther back. What do you want to do?
So, hearing that, so can I assume that I would have heard the jingle jangling stop? Like, will we all have noticed?
You would have heard my shield drop.
But would I have been able to tell that the people we're trying to sneak up on also heard it?
So they definitely, Basil's shield kind of dropped and hit a rock. It made a loud metallic sound. They definitely heard that. Are you asking if you heard that they stopped?
Yes.
Okay. Make a perception check. We'll see. They weren't being stealthy.
Ooh, good roll.
Ooh. 18.
You heard it stop.
Excellent. So in hearing that they stopped, Mrs. Q, let me see, how does this work? How far away are they from us?
Okay, so you were about 50 meters away from the curb. You were trailing behind the guys. I'll say you're about 25 meters away, which is quite a number of feet, I think.
Times 3.
Yeah, it's basically times 3. So yeah, 75 feet.
Right.
And that's from the corner. You cannot see what's around the corner. So you're
But
75 feet away from the party that went above before you, Basil's party.
Okay.
And can we see any light from around the corner? Like, is there a glow, like something's lit, or are we in complete darkness now with the fire out?
Are there stars or?
Is there a glow,
Yeah.
or the moon or anything?
There are definitely stars. You don't see a moon at this point in time, at this point in the season. I'll say you can see, like, it's not strong by any means. It's like kind of, it's not as dark. So there's some form of like lantern light at best.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Like you're right at the cusp of whatever this lantern light is. You can't see it. Go around and check. You hear one voice kind of whispering that just sort of carries enough on the wind to those of you who are very close to the corner. So Mrs. Q and Elle did not hear this.
Okay.
I
I
drop.
couldn't hear what you said. Did you say something? Because the mic didn't.
Sorry. So Basil went forward. Basil, Cam, and Apoc all went forward. The three of you can hear a voice very quietly, only because you're that close. Go around and check. And you can hear like some, actually, let me roll for this. What do you hear? You can hear some very quiet footprints. Just starting very silently to sneak your way.
Are we fighting?
Okay. Mrs. Q, so we're like off the road, right? But we're not that far off the road, but we're by the bend. I'm trying to picture where, like, this person now coming
Yeah, so-
towards us.
So picture a bend like this, like a hairpin bend. So they're coming along here. We're like camped out right here. So like they can't actually see us, but they heard
Yes.
something. And we can't physically see them either, but we can hear them.
On the other side of the road.
The road is pretty
Okay.
much the entire trail you're on. So there's sheer cliff like on your left and then sheer cliff down on your right.
Got
Like
it.
you are on the road. And just as Basil was explaining, or Andrew was, sorry. Yeah, if you think of it like a hairpin turn, you cannot see the other side and they cannot see.
Got it.
Cliff wall.
Okay.
So we're here. There.
Can I?
And below,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
but like on the drop, is it like a sheer drop to nothingness, or is there like a forest down there, or like?
You've been hiking up for a while. The mountain is quite sheer cliff. Like it's very steep. There are like platforms every so often. So like, you know, you might hit a platform if you were to fall off, but it's not like a hill that you can just roll down. If you fall,
Yeah.
you fall.
Okay.
As for what the detail is where you are right now, it was dark when you got to this spot. Even if you look over now, you cannot see the drop.
Okay.
Can I look out to the starry sky that this cliff is overlooking, and having recently come close to death, just kind of think and almost like a reaching out. What should I do with these?
Ooh.
Interesting.
Interesting. I gotta think about this one. Give me a second.
Just kind of trying to suss out from maybe that starry sky if I have any vibe on what to do with these people.
Go ahead and make a religion check.
That's a 10.
As you're kind of sitting here invisible, no one to witness this bit of focus from Cam as he just kind of reaches out. With a 10, whether it's a trick of your imagination or an answer in response, the hand that has the burn mark on it kind of twitches. Can't tell if it's of your own accord or not,
Cool.
but weird things can kind of happen if you reach out
Cool.
like that.
Interesting.
Sorry, I still haven't actually explained what it is. I'm trying to figure out whether I want to do. Has the person who's going to check made it around the corner?
No.
Not that you see.
Just go with it, honey. Just go with it.
No, it's timing.
You're thinking it too much.
Basil, are we fighting or what are you doing?
I don't think you should fight, friend.
Wait,
Hear a
what?
whisper in your ear.
What did you just wait? What?
Oh,
Do I-
sorry. Okay. I don't think you should fight, friend.
Who heard that? Everybody?
Oh yeah.
Can we tell where it came from?
Do I believe it? Insight.
You look around. You don't see anything.
Do I believe it?
Do you make an insight check?
That's a nat 20. Do they sound like a friend?
Do they sound like a friend?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a voice you recognize. It had like a little bit of malice in it.
Okay.
You also don't see who said it.
Yeah. I just draw a bead on my bow.
Sir Basil seeing that, like seeing Apoc draw his bow, he like just grips his sword even tighter. And like he's just like, whoever turns that corner, we're gonna jump them.
I'm gonna shoot, yeah, but come out.
You get no response. And Elle, Mrs. Q, were you going to do anything before this next step, this next round?
Elle, you go ahead, then I'll.
So Elle would have heard this voice, right?
Were you still walking up towards, because you were with Mrs. Q hanging back a bit.
Mhm.
Were you continuing
we-
to walk up?
I think once Basil's shield fell, Elle would have just like froze and just kind of waited. So I think she's still probably a little further back
Okay.
along with Mrs. Q. So she's not as close as up to the front.
In that case, no, you would not have heard this voice. This was for the three people who were there. So it's Cam, Basil, and Apoc. Oh, it's ABC. Oh.
How have we not realized that?
It's A B C D E.
Hey, with Dace. Oh my gosh.
Dace and Elle.
Wow.
I have us arranged in alphabetical order in the videos. So
How have we not realized that?
I think Elle would kind of be watching everyone, and when Apoc draws the bow, she'll move a little closer, but still hesitantly. So she's still a little ways back, but she's not sure what's going down. You got a tired 12-year-old with you, so she's this is bad energy coming out of her. So.
Mrs. Q then, seeing that everyone's like drawn their weapons, uses thaumaturgy to mimic the sound of like a bear, like rumbling through the underbrush that's there.
What's a bear sound like, hon?
But I'm just imagining like the kicking of stones around and like kind of like grunting and grumbling to try and make it sound like what the person thought they heard was in fact just a mountain bear.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, you're using thaumaturgy to do that. You did not hear the whisper to Apoc and Basil. So yeah, okay, yeah. You are making the sounds of the bear. Apoc, Basil, and Cam, you hear the sounds of the bear. Not knowing that they're from Mrs. Q, just FYI.
I warned you about that.
You hear the sounds of this like bear kind of pushing through the undergrowth, seeming like all around you. And go ahead and make me a perception check, everybody.
Oh boy.
For Mrs. Q and Elle, because you're very far away, give it to me at disadvantage.
God damn it.
16.
Oh, and if anybody has anything about like hearing, this is going to be like a hearing based thing. So if you get advantage for hearing, I don't know if any race does that, but I didn't think they did. Okay.
How would we know that? That would be in features and traits or something?
It would likely be under features and traits, but I don't think any of these races do have that.
Does it make sense that Mrs. Q and Elle would have disadvantage because Mrs. Q is the one casting it?
This is something different.
Who has
Okay.
disadvantage?
Okay, cool.
Mrs. Q and Elle do because
Okay,
they're
okay,
so
okay,
far
okay.
away.
Yes.
You guys are just at a straight roll because you are close to that corner.
Okay, cool.
What did
Elle-
everyone? Basil, Mrs. Q, what did you roll?
16 as well as Cam.
16 for Cam, Elle.
7 for me, sorry. You did not.
Elle for you.
Plus 2.
I had a dirty 20 before disadvantage, then I got a 5.
Okay, and Apoc.
10, but my natural explorer says I remain alert to danger even when engaged in other activities. So I don't know if that plays a role.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I think we're all in danger.
In that case,
I'm in danger.
yeah. You don't know what it is you're hearing. None of you really rolled high enough to know what it is you're hearing, but kind of on pins and needles, the boys, You hear just a very faint scuffling, and then you hear kind of like when you open a pop can, the release of carbonated air. And then you hear a no. And something kind of just comes rolling towards you. Kind of just rolling in front of you.
Can I see it? Can any of us see it?
With a 10.
Like Indiana Jones.
You can kind of see it rolling in slow motion because it's got a little wick that is slowly burning down.
Can I release my arrow at it? The one that's drawn?
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
That's pretty good. The 22.
Your arrow hits this thing.
Check out my board log.
Check out my board log.
No.
And it explodes in a flash flame that like blinds you for a second with light. This like burning silver that just kind of lights up the whole area. Whoever was like around the corner, you can see and hear very clearly now, just like a no, a little louder. And then you start to hear as it seems like the bang that is echoed on the side of this mountain has started a little bit of a rock slide.
Not good.
You hear a rumbling that just starts to come down from above you and below you. It's starting to like grow louder and louder and louder as small pebbles turning into bigger pebbles start to rain down around all of you. You see one face come around the corner. The guys who are at the front, one face coming around the corner, a older looking Corvum in this like gold plate armor, kind of like a very J-like feature with a little like flip at the back. A couple hand axes on his hips, looking at you all and just being like, rock slide, this way, as you are all kind of running, or as he turns and starts to run in the direction that they came from up the hill. And you can see and feel now as rocks are starting to come down above you from the like massive bang of this bomb. What are you guys doing?
I look back at the other two. Run!
Which way are you running?
Towards.
Tell you what I'm gonna do is Sir Basil is gonna in that moment turn like Hulk, like big, and he's gonna like, because I can as a Jervine, I can jump really far as like I can jump really high. I'm gonna jump back towards Mrs. Q and Elle, sweep them up, and I'm just gonna like long jump up the trail and like just start booking it with like while holding them to try and get away from these rocks.
You're going up around the hairpin turn?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. All right.
Do
You
we?
get advantage because you're big. Go for it.
With advantage or no?
You get advantage for being big?
I only get advantage for strength.
Strength. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can jump out of way. Elle?
Because Basil's holding Elle, can she give him guidance?
Does guidance work for saving throws or is it just checks? I think bless is.
Oh, sorry. One ability check. Sorry, I tried.
You pat him on the shoulder.
Haley.
All right. We're gonna roll.
Cam and Apoc, I want to know what you're doing after this.
I'm going towards the new folk.
Boom.
Okay.
Cam, where are you?
I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19.
Easy enough. You're able to scoop up the two ladies and long jump around the corner. And now as you do, you can see the Corvum you saw in the gold plate armor, like booking it away, kind of looking over his shoulder. You see like 5 other bandits all with him. And you see like one set of footprints that seems to be from another invisible person, one might say, who's also running.
would I intuitively know, like, okay, that's probably Cam?
How about this? You see 2 sets of invisible things running away.
Oh, okay.
Apoc.
Yeah, I'm running with them as well.
You're running with them as
into
well.
the group, but keeping an eye out for Cam. Like I'm trying to figure out where he is because I don't want him dead again. So do I notice footprints on the ground, like something coming from somewhere? Like
You knew that Cam was close beside you. You like when you were all kind of sitting at the edge of this thing, rocks are falling, it's kind of chaotic. I didn't realize this was going to be a thing. I kind of said the invisible footprints is set dressing, but yes, I'll say you can absolutely see, a little bit ahead of you as Cam took off running before you, but you can see a set of footprints from an invisible creature as you also go to book it.
Yeah, as long as I get the gist of where he might be, I would be fine running.
And I need a dexterity saving throw from you as well as you, Cam, if you're booking.
Dirty 20.
Woo!
Box. Dirty 20.
Yo, these rocks ain't got nothing on us, man.
You go ahead and book it, trying to cover your heads, running, the rumbling getting louder. There are a couple near misses as massive boulders kind of fall next to you. You can see one boulder that is falling towards the patrol that was coming your way initially, just kind of take out one of their guys and launch him over the edge as all of you are booking it. And you run for what feels like forever. Basil, how long does your thing last?
1 minute.
After 1 minute, Basil shrinks back down. There's still the rumbling around you. The girls are now kind of running beside you as you are all still booking it until you kind of start to catch your breath as you realize that it's just pebbles falling on you now and not the massive boulders from before. A big group of you now, you mixed with the bandits, kind of like look at each other, taking each other in for the first time. The Corvum in the gold armor. There are Corvum in the gold armor, as well as 4 of his surviving men, all in more like well-fitting armor, well cared for weapons at their sides, breathing heavy, and then you all breathing heavy as well.
Are they donning the same armor as the the coalition insignia?
You can very clearly see an insignia. Kind of like with the leather armor you had before, it was almost like it was branded in. On the plate itself, it looks like it's kind of been painted in a more artistic way. They're kind of catching their breath. The Corvum, how long does invisibility last? It lasts a while, doesn't it?
An hour.
An hour, yeah. The Corvum is kind of looking. Hello? That was right close.
Which one of you threw that?
I'm going to say you probably saw him when I lost the accent. You saw him fall off the edge.
Karma's a bitch, eh?
Yeah, tell me about it. What in the non-hells are y'all doing up here? We're not used to visitors. How did all 5 of y'all make it up here?
Want to say something for the group? We're from Elderhead. We're here to.
I mean,
All 5? Oh, yeah.
Days.
Yeah, because Cam's invisible.
Yeah.
All 4 of y'all make it up here.
5.
No, it's fine.
5
Days.
There's only 4 of y'all here.
days.
Oh.
There's only 4 of y'all here.
No. Excuse me? I look around. 5?
1,
4?
2 points to you, Elle. 3 points to you, Mrs. Q. 4 points to you, Basil.
Oh man.
I did not get hit in the head that hard, son.
Son, I'm not your son.
Watch your tone.
Mrs. Q, frantically looking around for Dace, asks, did you see what the person looked like who fell off the side of the cliff? Person? Animal?
Yeah, it was one of our mates. He was a good guy, but he was new. Liked to tinker.
Oh.
All right.
What are y'all doing on the side of this mountain?
We're looking for someone.
Who?
Sir Idian?
Ain't no sir. You better not call her sir.
Oh, you know this person?
Yeah, I know this person. What do you want with her?
Chat. That's the least we could do after that kerfuffle.
What?
What do you mean? You know, the rocks raining down, men flying off the cliff. Some of us prefer a different kind of welcome party.
You're not supposed to be on this road. Who are you, people? And I want a straight answer now.
Mrs. Q hobbles up, brushing dust off of her petticoat. We we have traveled quite a long way and fought some rather dangerous foliage in order to have an opportunity to chat with Sir Idian. We know that she is a busy woman, but we think it's time that the folks who live in the mountains have conversation with the folks who live in the woods.
You're a party from Alderheart.
That's right. A long way.
Yeah, I'm aware. Did she get our messages then? The council?
No.
We haven't heard of any messages.
So you are coming here on your own, on behalf of the people in the wood, to talk to the general. Is that right?
That is exactly right. I'm glad we understand each other.
I need a persuasion check from you.
Isn't that the truth though? Am I lying?
Can Sir Basil?
Am I misread?
You're not lying. You're just trying to persuade him.
Can Sir Basil chime in, kind of like casting help, so you have an advantage? But essentially, he'll say something along the lines of, "Look, we've both lost people we've cared about in this ridiculous back and forth feuding, like your men being cast off the cliff. Our friend, we don't even know where he is."
What do you mean your friend? You don't even know where he is?
There was another one of our companions, Dace, and where is he? We don't know. Because of your rock slide, we've now lost him.
Dace,
Hang on.
make your roll.
Okay.
We-
With advantage, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, easy advantage for sure.
Is this Corvum like a
14.
bandit, like the bandit captain armor kind of thing?
It is, hold on to that number, Georgina. It is definitely more like the bandit captain armor you've seen before is well-fitted leather armor. This is like plate. Like this is kind of his own armor. It's built to him. And as you kind of look at this guy, like the armor is worn, but it looks well cared for, kind of the way that Basil normally tidies his armor, tries to get the scuffs out, although this Corvum clearly didn't get as many scuffs out. He's quite tall. He's definitely older. You can see like the graying of the feathers around his eyes, the graying at his tuft. The two hand axes are very custom looking at his hips. And you can see now that as you kind of take him in, being invisible and can get a good look, he is missing his left arm from the elbow down.
Interesting. So he doesn't need 2 hand axes.
He's got him. Might not need him, but he's got him.
But he clearly looks at a higher rank than the captain. We don't know what a general.
Oh, yes.
But we can guess based on the fact that he said general. He's probably like a lieutenant or something like that.
Like you standing there, you can almost feel like an aura off of this guy. Just from the way he is. And you, Basil, like kind of a little bit reminds you of Ren, I think his name was.
Yep.
That's the kind of aura around this dude.
Okay.
What was your persuasion roll?
14.
Kind of. Did you say dice? Straight.
That's right.
So yay high.
We've lost a companion. You've lost your companion. Let's stop this feuding.
Dice like I'm losing the accent again. Oh, it's so hard to keep this one.
You can do it.
the strig
Never skips leg day.
likes
That's-
a lot of salads,
Basil looks at the group and looks at.
anger management issues. Yeah,
Yep, that's it.
That's right.
he traveled with you.
That's right.
What's that supposed to mean?
I thought he was dead.
Might be
No.
now.
It seems like he is now if he was with you, and now he's not. But I thought he was dead like 10 years ago.
Wow.
All right.
Who's he to you?
We were soldiers together. You might have to speak a little louder for
I
me
know.
to pick you up.
Holy shit.
Sir Basil just said, like kind of like, what? Like, you were a soldier?
What?
What?
He's a soldier.
No, I mean, like, he's a bandit. That's all we know.
Oh. Is that what he means by soldier?
You have no idea what you're walking into, do you?
Well, that would ruin the fun.
We clearly cannot get down the mountain. You all look like you have been in a fight for your life. You want to meet the general? Fine. But I'm going to need everything. And we'll escort you back. All your weapons, all your tools. If you can give it up to us right now, we'll escort you to the keep. And if you're friends of Dace, then maybe we have some catching up to do.
Okay.
How does that sound for you?
What's
So
his
that was-
pocket situation look like?
Oh my gosh, Eric.
Okay.
The left side.
The left side specifically. So he's in armor. I guess there's technically a tunic underneath said armor. Sure, he's got a pocket.
With my hand in it.
Let me pull up this chart that I specifically made for this moment.
I know.
Give me a hot second.
going to the
Come on. All right, sleight of hand. Against these dudes.
That's a 29.
Woo!
29. Oh, he cannot beat that. Okay.
I would like, and I would like to use my opportunistic thief ability
Uh-huh.
to replace whatever I take out with a couple caltrops.
With a couple caltrops? Okay.
Just to like offset the balance in terms of weight, so it's not noticeable.
Interesting. I mean, with the 29, he definitely does not notice. Go ahead and roll me
Yeah, with my opportunistic thief ability, I guarantee that they don't notice the swap.
Yeah, because the DC is like 10 plus their dex or your
No,
dex.
if I succeed at stealing something, I can put something back for free.
Oh, I understand. I see. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll a d10 to see what you get.
Ooh, 10.
And it's easy enough to swap it.
That's a 2.
That's a 2.
Actually, instead of the caltrops, I'm gonna put some bat guano in there.
Hey.
Cool. Disgusting. You silently go ahead and make the swap without even moving his tunic. No issues there. And you pull out from his pocket, you pull out kind of this like, it's a board, a very thin board. It's kind of like sandpapery on one side and then a little bit softer sandpapery on the other side. And you stole his emery board
Cool.
and replaced it with that poop.
Love it. Okay, and then I'll like move away from the group.
Still invisible.
Yeah.
Cam stole an emery board. That's all you need to know.
Perfect.
Sir Basil is just looking at the group to see what the group wants to do. Like if we want to give over our weapons to these people.
Mrs. Q looks at the general.
Or
sorry, the person who was speaking to.
the corp.
And says, and if we agree, into whose charge will we be putting these items? What is your name?
Well, ma'am, my name is Ajax. Ajax Fame.
Ajax what?
Fame. Fein.
Would we know that that is like a known
You have not heard of this name before,
or
ever.
Huh.
If you are truly here on behalf of peace, this should be a no-brainer for you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't know what you're here for. Like, we know you live up here, but let's just say you're not just going to rob us blind. You just threw a grenade at it. Is that a grenade? What was that?
you've already tried to blow us off the cliff.
It was against my command. They can all vouch for me here.
Would we
Joel had a
recognize-
little bit of a happy trigger finger. He was kind of new. He was a tinkerer. He's had a lot of misfires. That was not our intention. I am sorry.
Okay, well,
In the interest of trust, how about you reveal yourself? And you see kind of standing like right beside the general, the air kind of shimmers just a little bit. And you see a like younger female Apoc, very trash panda-esque, but like a little like very cute, like really, really adorable. And she's just kind of sitting there. And she has like some leather armor on, very light, some cute little boots. And she kind of just looks at you all. Hi. You recognize the voice as the one that was scouting you invisible from around the corner. Because Cam is not the only one that can go invisible.
yeah. I figured there was a second when you said two sets of footprints.
Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah.
Would we also recognize that the Corbin's voice, would it match the voice we heard that said no?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So gotcha.
Okay, but hear me out. What happens if a bear attacks us? Did you not just hear that noise? Like, we need something to defend ourselves. Mountain bears.
Ah, right. Oh, I lost it again. Bears aren't usually this high. There are lions but there's also we'll be fine.
Doing great. You're doing great.
For me, a southern accent and a like Australian accent are so close. And my character in Eric's campaign has an Australian accent. So I'm having a really hard time separating these two, and I've been practicing all day long.
I think it sounds great.
You sound just like Sam Elliott.
Pardon?
You sound just like Sam Elliott.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's got a very thick southern accent.
Okay, great. I'll take that as a compliment. Anyways,
Oh boy.
y'all see all of us now. We
We got one of those too, and I drop the invisibility as I'm filing my nails, and I throw it to him. I throw the emery board back to him.
he like fumbles it a little bit with the one hand, but he catches it.
This seems like a
You said you came here in peace. We're all open in the front. You can see all of us now. I can see all of you. You want to talk to the general? I am the second in command of the Bandit Fortress. I can guarantee you an audience with her, but you have to follow my commands here. Give up your weapons, we'll escort you in. I will guarantee your safety, and I will guarantee you an audience.
And will you guarantee that we will have our weapons returned to us afterwards upon our departure in the state that we found them in?
We're not going to hurt your weapons. We're not in that business. However, it's going to have to depend on how these talks go. The general has been wanting some peace, but the council has not exactly been receptive to our messengers that we've sent out. None of them have returned, so you can imagine we're all on a little bit of pins and needles.
Wait, messengers? The group just raided the city.
That was an unfortunate necessity. But we have sent messengers for years to the council, and they have been ignored and never returned. We don't hear from our messengers again. So either they're keeping them hostage or a less savory fate. But I'm going to take it on faith that Dace wasn't traveling with bad folk. Now we can sit talking on the side of this mountain all night long, but we're not letting you get any closer unless you give up your weapons.
So Basil,
I'm up for it. Whatever.
We can accept your terms.
so Basil walks up and holds out his sword, his too big sword for him, that it's almost like it's a shock that how can this little guy hold the sword? Holds it up to Ajax and says, "We're taking you for your word, soldier's honor. We're putting our lives into your hands. We trust that you will.
Man.
Your word."
Surely you wouldn't take weapons from a fellow coalitioner, as I'm wearing my coalition armor.
I knew it was a mistake to give you that.
We have a couple of them.
You do. You also have a sword, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know.
I pawned that.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a captain's sword, right?
I have banded captain armor on. Just
You do
throwing that
have
out there.
bandit captain armor. This is also the second in command of the bandit coalition. So normally with bandit armor on, you would have advantage on any type of deception or persuasion check. But because you're speaking to the general who more or less knows his captains, I'm going to say it's a straight roll.
Really?
What?
I'm more concerned that he knows the captains that this dude had to get it from somewhere.
15 plus persuasion.
I'm gonna, but you also became not invisible in front of him, which I just remembered. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta think about this.
Andrew's calculating.
There's like a lot going on here. You were invisible. You stole his emery board. You weren't on patrol with him. Maybe you're undercover, but why would you be wearing it?
DCF.
He's trying to save face after someone has pickpocketed him.
I mean, he's not a dumb guy though. Hold on.
I got this armor like first session.
Yeah, you did.
I was gonna do the whole like they're agents working with me and see how that plays, but we're well past that.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna say
As a show of good faith,
it's a deception. I'm gonna say it's a deception, and it's a straight roll deception.
Okay, so that's an 18.
Don't contest with his insight. What'd you say?
18.
18. You rolled a 17 for his insight.
I'm from the West Coast.
Instant disadvantage.
He's just gonna kind of look at you a little bit suspiciously. Just, I don't recognize him. You stay on him.
I throw a dagger to their feet, just in good show. I'll give you one of my daggers. I want it back.
Still stay on. And one of the bandits next to him kind of like moves up, just over your shoulder to keep an eye on you.
Perfect.
But he'll take that one dagger. The party that's with Ajax is going to go around and collect all of your weapons, bows, arrows, everything that you have. They're going to be very thorough.
Question, yeah.
Go ahead, Mrs. Q.
Mrs. Q's only weapons.
Or a frying pan and a walking stick.
So Mrs. Q is going to try to convince them to let her keep her walking stick because she's old. And also, if they attempt to take her frying pan?
I'm assuming that that's like tucked into your bedroll, right?
I mean,
at some point it's tucked into your backpack.
I mean, it's semi-easy access, like it's on the top, so that I can get to it in a fight. But
it's also a fry pan, so they likely won't take your fry pan. However, when you try to resist with your walking stick, they are gonna just say, like, I'll take the stick, you can lean on me instead. Like, they're not gonna let you kind of get away with having something easy access to like whack them with.
All right, Mrs. Q.
These are not the bandits you're used to seeing, just FYI.
Fair enough. Mrs. Q because she's a little bit frustrated that they took her walking stick. She leans really heavily on this person as proof that she requires a walking stick.
This guy's strong. This is a Vulcan, very gray wolf, like timber wolf-esque. He's big, he's strong. Like, you're trying to lean on him, but he doesn't even notice.
Great.
Elle, you had a question as well.
Yeah, so whomever comes up to Elle, she's going to be reluctant to have her dagger and her short bow go. She's going to kind of hold her kind of arm across her chest to hide the pin that she wears. Mm-hmm. But one thing she will, if it's possible, she's going to walk up to Ajax and just say, I've only ever seen one Corbin before. Do you know Thisbe?
Sorry, little one.
She's going to hold up Cordelia, her little doll. Are you sure? He traveled all around and would come and tell me stories, and he brought me my doll. are you going to take my doll too?
He Ajax kind of bends a knee down. Is she dangerous?
I was gonna look at her and like turn her to face Ajax. She's survived a lot through our journey, so I think she'll be okay, but I'd like to keep her with me.
I just need the things that things that y'all probably shouldn't have anyways, like the pointed things that you can hurt yourselves on. That's all I need.
Okay. She's gonna just hug her close to her chest.
No, I might have something else that you could have.
Are you traveling with a kid?
Are you traveling with the kid? Just point at the other back.
What do you want to say?
I might have actually something that you could use. And I got this a long time ago. I don't really know what to do with it, but this old lady gave it to me. And I just like reach into my bag and I pull out this old wooden hand. I feel like I've just been carrying it around for a good moment, and this seems more like it.
I just asked for your weapons.
But if I give you this, I'd be unarmed.
You know what? Screw it. Ajax is gonna there's gonna be a low chuckle that's gonna start in his chest, and he just kind of like throws his head back to laugh in like a very kind of screechy way, like a blue jay call.
Oh god!
Just like that's good, son. That's good. You hang on to it. Let's go. And he's going to turn and start walking. All of you are kind of have been shepherded into the middle as the rest of the troop is around you. Cam, you're kind of at the back with your shadow essentially over your shoulder, like boring holes into the back of your head kind of thing, like not letting you out of their sight at all. These are not like the bandits that you have seen before. Their armor fits them properly. Their weapons are cared for. They are all very strong. As Ajax just starts to lead you up. Unless there's anything you want to do as you go up the mountain.
Mrs. Q still leaning heavily on this.
And then
Big
conveniently
gray
just
wolf guy.
pushes him off the cliff.
No,
Just kidding.
we would never do such a thing. Mrs. Q just starts chatting with him. She gets the impression that maybe he doesn't want to chat, but she doesn't care. Asks his name and asks if he is has any interest in gardening. And just sort of talks about all of her radishes and various cultivars of radishes that she has grown over the years and how they would never grow in such an alpine environment. But if she could find a cultivar that she promises to send some seeds along.
I was gonna say
she just goes on.
I was gonna
and
say
on.
the opening line, because you're like leaning on this guy's arm, it's like, oh, you look like you lift a lot of radishes.
You chat, and although he doesn't quite respond in conversation, you can almost get the sense that he's like, like kind of intrigued, but also he knows he's on duty, so he's not, kind of like the way you've seen Basil try to keep his composure before in a conversation. That's what you kind of get from this guy.
Excellent. I like that. When she runs out of things to talk about with radishes, which takes a while, she moves on to tomatoes.
You don't even get to the tomatoes because as you run out of things to say, unless anybody else wants to do anything, it's still quite the trek on your way up, but you see it as soon as you turn the last corner. The sight before you, and the best way I'm going to be able to describe this, even though it's not like quite as grand. What was that city from Lord of the Rings that was like built into the mountain?
Helm's Deep?
Yeah, that
Deep.
Oh.
That's kind of what it looks like. You turn the corner and it's almost like this grotto where it has been carved out of the mountain itself, but it's beautiful and ancient looking and new all at the same time. There are these towering walls that almost take up the entire space of this whole carved out area of this mountain face. They are carved in a way that almost continue the striations of the shale that this mountain is made out of. So looking at it from like the ground, you would never know that there was something out here. You have no idea what face of the mountain you're on, but you would imagine that unless you're standing right where you're standing, you would never be able to see this thing. As you're kind of looking at the grandeur of these walls, you can see that there is a slight, very straight and very narrow looking line going directly in the middle of it vertically that kind of seems to separate the two walls. And similar to how you didn't see the road until you were standing right in front of it, at the right angle, as you kind of move and Ajax sort of leads you, you can see that there is, where there was nothing before, a like massive door made of stone comes into view. And I can't describe the height of this thing, the just massive architecture that went into carving something like this. And as Ajax kind of walks up and sort of waves a hand signal, you see a wave of a torch on one of the top kind of turret areas in front of this door. And the door slowly starts to open, this door made of stone. It is incredibly smooth. There's no grinding that you would expect of stone on stone as this door moves. And it opens just enough to allow you and your party to enter into the bandit stronghold before sliding closed behind you. And as you enter through these walls of stone, you actually see Mrs. Q, you were just chattering on about this environment and not being able to grow anything. One of the first things you see off to your left as you take in the surroundings is a kind of like a brick house. So not so much made of stone as they are made of small, like red bricks. Stands not very tall. It's about a single story, but it's very long. And all around here, instead of stone, you realize that someone has taken the time to create raised garden beds. You can see like green vegetation flowing out of the top, and you can see someone, even at this hour of the night, kind of patrolling around, making sure that all of the plants have kind of been covered and just essentially tending to this little garden in the middle of the mountain. You can see behind you as you turn, there is a like parapet walkway where there seems to be quite a buzz of activity around the door. Farther in on your right, you definitely see some movement of troops that seem to be either fully armored, fully weaponed, sort of walking around, or those that are slowly starting to take their armor off. It's not so much buzzing because you are here in the middle of the night, but there is activity. They're kind of walking in and out of the first like wooden building off to your right. As you continue on, realizing just the size of this place, you start to see a little bit farther down the road as Ajax leads you in. There is, and it's a trick of the eye at first, but there is a similar architecture gate close to what you saw coming in, where the striations of this gate follow the striations of the stone itself. So you don't know you're looking at an inner gate until you're right there and can kind of see the doorway. This time the doorway itself is made out of a wood with a very big kind of iron bar across it that you can make out at the distance you're at. Ajax is kind of leading you in that general direction. You can see stairs sort of winding up towards the gate itself in that way. And as Ajax is walking, you can see a lot of the troops saluting, kind of raising their weapon or raising a fist in his direction. And he seems to be acknowledging each one in return as he kind of makes his way into the bandit stronghold itself. He sort of leads you and your party up the main strip before veering kind of off to the right as he starts to approach the inner wall, the inner gate itself. And as you kind of veer off of the main road and away from the area of the barracks, the area of the storeroom, the gardens that you saw, you come into more of a more well-lit part. There are torches very frequently along the walls and along the grounds in this area as he leads you towards one tent. And as he kind of opens it and inside the tent, you do see it is a long tent, very tall, kind of like the circus tent you were in. However, it's nowhere near as colorful or elaborate as what you saw in Alderheart. And you do see that there are very sturdy built, for lack of a better word, like cells made out of iron that have been kind of ground into the stonework itself. You can see that there are a few cells that are occupied. There are some very fluffy looking cots and fluffy looking blankets in each of the cells, but Ajax is going to lead you to kind of the back area where the cells are the biggest. Unlock the door and kind of look at all of you. This is just a precaution until I can go and get Sir Idian.
Did you say Sir Idian?
Her name is Sir Idian.
Oh.
He's going to kind of open the cell door.
I'm going to gesture like he does to the rest of the party.
You too. I don't recognize you. In you go.
I assume we walk in.
Sorry.
Would we? Well, okay. I assume we walk into the cell. But on an additional question, would we have recognized? So as we were walking by, you said like we noticed that there are other prisoners in these other cells in the front of the room. Like, would we have like picked up anything about these people? Like, do they look like they are citizens of Alderheart? Do they look like yeah?
It's a lot of them are sleeping. It is kind of the middle of the night.
Okay.
So you didn't get a good look at them. They were kind of under, you can know when someone's in the bed, right? You can see like some ears. So there's definitely some humble folk. You do see some like feathers. There's definitely some bird folk here as well. What you do notice as you walked in, the majority of the troops you passed were very much humble folk centric. You didn't really see a whole lot of bird folk here.
Okay. Gotcha.
But you don't see any, distinguishing markings or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. I am going to go and see if the general is willing to see y'all. It is the middle of the night. I'm assuming she's probably asleep. I suggest you do the same. First thing tomorrow morning, we'll see if she's willing to meet with you.
Ajax, was Dace part of this army?
Dace was not part of this army.
What army were you guys part of?
Yeah, I guess we got to go tell the general, see if she's awake. And he'll send one of his underlings as he kind of pulls up a chair and sort of sits. I should probably be the one to keep an eye on y'all anyways. Huh. Days an hour from Bracken Mill. We actually joined the Perch Card Cadets.
He's a cadet.
We did our basic training together. outside of Alderheart, and then we were shipped off to mountains here up north. There was some sort of commotion in the North Mountains. Don't really know what it was, just lots of things being weird.
Yeah.
Dace. Dace actually did this to me. And he's going to hold up the stump of his left arm.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
It was for, I kind of deserved it, but at the same time, he had breathtaking anger management issues. He was a great fighter. He was part of the Strig Regiment. He was part of the Strig Regiment. I was part of the Corbin Regiment. Our job was to go out at night, make sure that things were cool. His job was to go out in the day, see if he could find anything new. 10 years ago-ish, one night, we were out on patrol, and there was like this bright flash of green. And we were all blinded for a second. I couldn't see. And then it was like my whole body went numb. My mind got all fuzzy. And there was just this voice that was just telling me to go take care of the Strig Regiment. We all did. Couldn't control it. Dace and I got into it. He sliced my arm off. I fell off one side of the cliff. I assumed he had fallen off the other. When I woke up, I was here. And I've been here ever since. I thought Dace was dead.
So I take it you're not on good terms then.
We were on great terms. I wasn't in control. My mind was messed up.
Did he know that?
I don't think so.
It's not like you can send anyone to go find him.
There was like a hate in his eyes that night. We can't send anyone down the mountains now. You can't clear rubble like that. But if he got caught, if he was with you and he got caught in that, we have lost many a good person to rock slides up here.
So what, we're just stuck here now, the rocks? How are we going to get around it?
We have ways to clear it, but it's not instantaneous. So yeah, for right now, you're stuck. Not a bad place to be, though. You all look like hell.
Yeah. 10 years ago, he survived.
Yeah, he did.
Say he didn't survive now.
I don't know if he's that lucky.
I mean, I've seen others cheat death. He seems like the type. You can't send one or two guys out?
If he's in that rubble or on the other side of that rubble, if he's on this side of the rubble, he'll make his way here. One of our guys will see him. If he's on the other side, he might as well just make his way down the mountain because that is not going to get clear for at least another day. If he's in the rubble, I guess we'll find him when we clear it.
It's fair.
How long do y'all know Dace? I'm happy to see that he made friends. Don't get me wrong. The guy was hard to make friends with. If I didn't know him from when we were small, then I doubt we would. What's that?
He's still hard. He's always hard.
Definitely enjoyed his salads more than company, I found.
We didn't know him for long, but I trust him with my life.
Yeah, he kind of had that effect on people.
Did
You got to know him, of course.
Did you know that he had a propensity for karaoke?
did not. Was he good at it?
He could bring the house down.
Probably with his bare hands.
So Basil, kind of like trying to like change the discussion, asks about something that you mentioned earlier. You mentioned that back when your regiment attacked Dace's regiment, you mentioned a voice. What voice? Did you ever look into that? Investigate it?
As you kind of say that, and as he sort of like, you can see his eyes almost glaze over for a second before he blinks it away. His jaw kind of like tightens before he shakes his head. I don't think I mentioned a voice. There was just like a buzzing. I didn't have control.
What could cause you to not have control?
I don't know. I'm not a magic type, but it was my whole regiment. Whatever happened, it happened to all of us at once. Every time I try to remember that night, I forget a bit more. So I just try not to remember.
Okay, to the group, the fact that he just said that, would that like click for any of us? Like, oh, that clearly sounds like this. I don't know.
Has this ever happened again?
Has whatever happened again?
The loss of control of an entire regiment?
I've been here for the past 10 years. We've had troubles, but not like that.
Elle is going to pipe up and ask, troubles like that, did anything else happen 10 years ago?
I still cannot believe you're traveling with a kid.
I'm 12.
Yeah. What was your question, Steph?
If this happened 10 years ago, was anything else strange happening around that same time?
Right. Kid, I'm sorry, kid. I don't know. I was a soldier in the Purge Guard. I did my job. Didn't pay much attention to anything else.
Still open to more questions?
As long as you answer some of mine after, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you want some coffee? Might be a long night.
Just to
I haven't had this since I was an Aldenhard. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait. Okay, it's fine. There's coffee.
Okay.
to like set the tone of what everyone else is doing during this conversation. Mrs. Q, who like is quite content to listen and also do other things, uses her what's it called? Blessing of the Hearth ability to just like conjure a hearth in the corner of the prison and start cooking. So everyone's like, she's using her pan of perfection to make pancakes for dinner.
That's the best dinner.
So you could just hear like the frying in the background as you're having this conversation. It's very intense.
So like you're on one side of the bars and Ajax is on the other, and then you just conjure up a fireplace. Cool. Love it. 10 out of 10. That's amazing.
So this armor, I mean, it looks really well taken care of. What do you think of this? That I just pull out the like seared in emblem of the like the leather coalition armor that we got from the group that I think attacked us just outside of Elderheart. Is this one of yours?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This armor is mine
Yeah.
from my perch guard days.
Yeah.
This armor, yeah, we've had to filter and adjust.
Okay.
This is ours.
All right.
For sure.
We're
not exactly funded.
No, I get that. Just everything going on, you don't know who belongs to whom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
you find people on the side of the road and they're just like you, but you don't know if they're actually your guys or somebody's just acting like it to make you look bad, right?
You talking about you?
No, not us.
Okay.
Just talking about people in general, like the raids and stuff that are going on. If they're actually you guys, or if somebody's just trying to put the blame on you and has something else going on.
There are splinter cells,
Yeah.
for sure. But you have to understand, these folks could have just left me on the side of the mountain. It's not like I'm whole. And he kind of holds up his stump.
Yeah.
I was in real bad shape and bleeding out, and they took me in and they made me better.
Yeah.
And they're not bad people here. The majority of our people are here in the infirmary, losing their homes to the fires.
Fires. Guys, we had to investigate that.
The splinter cells are on a bit of a power-hungry mission. We tried to talk to Elderheart about that, and we got no response.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had to just focus on other things.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, you gotta have a home, right?
For a lot of people, this is their home.
No, I know, but the people out there that don't have home.
We try to take in as many as we can.
Yeah.
Not everybody here is a fighter. You saw quite a bit of our fighters. And as you said, the raid, yeah, that was necessary, and it wasn't supposed to go down the way those reports say they went down. Something went wrong.
Your guys, or
Those were our guys.
no, was something went wrong with your guys, or like did they have the jump?
Something else. They said that they saw someone light up those barrels full of fireworks or oil. Can't remember. It wasn't our guys.
Interesting. Oh wait. You think it was the perch guard? Guys, do you remember that one soldier that just really wanted to leave and come raid this place?
What was his name?
Anybody get his name? Do you know this guy?
Way
I
back.
don't think you ever got a name for him.
Damn.
I like to think I'm in the corner using the emery board again. Now I need to see if I can get it.
That almost went all over her laptop.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I almost spit that out. Come on, Eric.
I'm gonna try and steal the emery board back.
Oh my god.
Make a roll. He's paying far more attention now.
Using mage hand. That's a 27.
Yep.
You rolled a natural 19. Hold on. It's not +8. Yeah, you got the emery board back.
Oh man. Yeah, you know there was. You okay?
Looking for this.
It's fine.
I go over to the cage and I go hand the emery board back, but like in a handshake style, holding the emery. Hand it back. When I shake the hand, I'm gonna think back to that creature that I talk to from time to time. Do I get any pulse as I shake his hand?
Mm. Not so much a pulse. Yeah, actually, you know what? I guess it could be considered a pulse. It's like a little like static zap as he touches his hand. And he kind of like.
That's what I thought. And I go back to the corner.
You are not one of mine. I don't recognize your face. What did you just do?
I didn't do anything.
Mrs. Q, feeling the tension, starts distributing the pancakes in hopes that it will keep the conversation going.
And to clarify, they only took our weapons, correct? Like
they would have taken anything that they had seemed dangerous. Like you still have your armor on, but like any arrows, anything sharp, anything that could be construed as sharp or magical, like they took. So like pythons, hammer, like anything like that, they took from you. If you're asking if you have your pipe of bubbles, you have your pipe of bubbles.
yeah, I was thinking like the Basil's gonna start blowing bubbles in his face. Just...
All right. Sorry, ma'am, I don't mean to be rude. Are you from Bracken Mill by any chance? Pointing to you, Mrs. Q.
From Bracken Hill?
Bracken Mill, the town just on the south side of the mountains.
Jeez.
Do you know where you're from?
I don't remember if I put that in my... I don't remember.
Where would you have put your backstory?
It's in here. I just need to search for it.
I think Mrs. Q was from the South Mountains, but not from Bracken Mill.
I don't recall. I don't think.
Yeah, Bracken was here.
Yeah, no.
You're from like.
No. I'm from the mountains.
Oh, so this area?
Yeah.
Where we are?
But I don't.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we had several conversations that you grew up around. Okay, yes.
Is that a no?
That's no. That's no.
All right. So your necklace isn't from Bracken Mill then?
Mrs. Q sort of like covers the pendant with her hand so that it's not really visible anymore and says, no, it's not. And tucks it away into her.
Blouse.
Yeah. The thing that hedgehogs wear.
I thought you was going to be one of them crazy types. Glad you're not. Anything else I can help you with at this time?
What do you mean by crazy types?
Are y'all even from Humblewood? I grew up in Bracken Mill. In my youth, there was some sort of cult going on. They all wore that necklace. Said it was something special.
There's only one necklace like mine.
Everybody's got them in Bracken Mill. They said it was Henwin's greatest treasure, and that they were going to go and find the rest of the trove. And every year, a group of them left, go to the mountains. They didn't come back. That's why Dace and I joined the cadets. I'm just happy you're not falling for their tricks.
Nothing fake about what I wear.
Have we heard that name before, Henwin?
Yeah. Henwin is one of the Amaranthine.
Okay.
So you definitely would have heard it like in class, or they have a lot of representation, just like any of the Amaranthine here in Humblewood.
Okay.
At this point, another one of the soldiers kind of comes in and sort of like whispers in Ajax's ear, kind of nods, gets himself up, Try and get some sleep. Please do not cause any trouble. Looks in the back corner where you are, Camembert. If you help us keep the peace around here, I think the general might be happy to see you in the morning. If you cause trouble, I can't guarantee that she'll be thrilled at all to see you. Have a good night.
Good night.
He kind of stands up and he leaves. The soldier who had come to whisper to Ajax sort of like pulls the stool to sort of the middle post and kind of just sits down, like axe on his thighs, hand on the handle of the axe, just kind of looking around, keeping watch. You can see there's commotion, or sorry, here there's commotion kind of around the outside of the tent. And there's just this constant light from the torches outside. It's dark enough in here if you want to sleep, but it is quite bright outside the tent. And we'll take a quick break there because we've been going for a while. Come back in a few.
Cool.
Everyone's back. We'll dive back in. We took a very late break though, so. So there is a garden here. You do hear commotion outside this like tented jail. You're in the mountains. It's warmer than you expected. Like it's actually quite comfortable, and the blankets are very floofy. The pillows are very floofy here. They're used, like they've seen some wear and tear, but they're well cared for enough. Before you bed down, if you are going to bed down, is there anything that anyone wants to do while you're enjoying pancakes from Mrs. Q's hearth?
Mrs. Q does offer the pancakes that she initially offered to Ajax to the guard that sits down on the stool. Does he take them? Pancakes?
He kind of looks over in your direction, sees that there's like a fireplace set up, kind of looks a little confused in your direction, and it's just like, good, late dinner.
Suit yourself. Chocolate chip and juniper berry. Listen.
All right.
Can I do one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, as I always drop my pen. I want to use my last spell slot to focus in on the surroundings around us and really try to sense what's nearby again, and like I did when we first got to the mountains.
Okay.
I want to use my primeval awareness to detect any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead within a mile. Basically, anything in the city or surrounding.
Yeah, okay. Within a mile.
I don't get the location or the number, just what they are and if they're present.
What they are and if they're present. Within that mile. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Okay. Say this again.
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead.
You get a ping of fiend.
Fiend.
As you kind of like take a deep breath and open up your awareness to a pretty big space around you within a mile. But you do get a ping of fiendish energy.
Okay. I go to bed.
Okay. Elle, Cam, Basil, anything else before bed? Or just skip to the next morning?
No, nothing I can do.
Okay.
Mrs. Q. Hang on, my thing is all messed up now. I don't know if my iPad decided to put itself in like
Mobile view.
yeah, which doesn't fit. Mrs. Q takes some time. Okay, I know. And she does a tad more cooking and then cleans up. And goes to bed.
I'll help her clean up a bit. And then once everything's done, I'm gonna tuck into my corner and reach out and talk a little bit. It's like, I don't know what you want from me, but I want to do a better job. I came close to seeing you again, and I'd rather stay on this side. So if there's anything I can do to help keep that a reality, let me know. Then I'll go to sleep.
Whoa.
All right. And Elle, anything from you?
Elle is going to take a bit of time just to sit in the corner and kind of meditate on her own. She's also kind of looking or feeling to see if she can connect with the wind, but I guess being indoors, she doesn't have a lot of luck with that. But so she just kind of curls up, tucks into herself, and then just goes to sleep.
As you kind of like reach out to try and connect, it's kind of the same feeling that you felt for a bit. Something's a little bit different here, like the air is a little thinner.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit of like condensation that forms just on the outside of your feathers as you try to kind of really summon it to you. A little bit different. Not quite the different you're looking for. You all go ahead and are able to take a restful, long rest after a very long day. You are not woken up until you hear like the hustle and bustle of morning movement outside your tent. You kind of stir awake. It's brighter in here than it was before. There are a few more like lanterns that have been lit, as well as some sunlight that's coming into this place. You were kind of tucked into the corner of the initial courtyard, and it seems that the light is mostly coming from the torches that you saw last night, as opposed to the sun being able to penetrate this deep into this kind of grotto area. But you are kind of slowly awakened by the noise outside. You can see that the other people in the cells kind of around you, not too many of them are here. It's like 1, 2, like 3-ish at most. They're kind of awake, like stretching. You see one person doing, you see one person kind of like doing some push-ups, doing some sit-ups, just stretching out, getting ready to start the day. And you see another guard, another soldier, this one kind of with a little more like ill-fitting armor, the more what you're used to seeing on the road with the bandit patrols that you've run into, starting to hand out like, it looks like a warm breakfast. It's meager. It's kind of like your oatmeal, but he kind of comes around with a bowl for everybody. There's a little bit of bread, one little slice of apple, and comes to you, starts to hand them out. Enjoy all we got, and kind of turns and walks away. And you can see him sort of sit at the stool with his own little bowl of oatmeal and apple slices. He kind of eats it as well. You can't quite see outside the tent except for whenever the flap at the entrance kind of opens. You can see that there is a lot more activity outside. There are a lot more bodies out there just sort of moving along, moving around. But from your angle, from this distance, it's a little hard to actually catch any detail. A lot of armor that seems to be glinting in the sunlight in the courtyard, though. Just stop me if you want to do anything at any point. But as you kind of just starting to get ready, finish up your meal, do whatever you do in the morning, you wait. You wait. Time is kind of going by. You start just sort of pacing a bit as time kind of moves on. The shift changes for the guard in the center, and you assume the guard's outside.
Can we figure out what time it is?
And you wait. Go ahead and make a survival check.
It's an 11.
11?
Yeah.
You're inside in the back corner of like a grotto. You don't have any direct view of the sunlight up there. The only idea of time passing you have is when the guard shifts change. So it's definitely been hours.
Is there a guard there? Hey, what time is it?
Afternoon.
A lot of time is afternoon.
I don't know, early afternoon.
All right, just curious. Feels like we've been in here for days.
It's early afternoon, man. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like I've been here for days. He kind of starts grumbling off onto his own.
You looking to get out of here?
No.
Okay. So I thought you wanted to talk.
Nah.
All right.
Got a job to do, see.
Stop watching us.
I thought I was gonna be cool.
Hey, I heard this is kind of rare in these parts. You want some coffee?
I'm not supposed to come that close to bars.
Have you ever smelled something like this before?
No. I mean, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the Ajax, I mean, your superior, he seemed pretty interested in it. I figured you might like it too.
Yeah, Ajax can do whatever he wants. He's the general. I shouldn't even call him Ajax. He's the general. He's the general.
Sorry, the general. I mean,
Where are you from?
South?
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Farmlands, plentiful. Oh, I mean, are you okay?
I'm laughing. Andrew's laughing.
I mean, you guys don't really get too many visitors up here, do you?
Some.
They usually survive?
Yeah, man.
I don't
What do
know.
you think we are?
I've never been locked up before.
Jeez. Monsters.
I mean, I don't look that different from you. What does he look like?
He is a humble folk. He is a hedge.
Okay.
You can see he's more of the like porcupine as opposed to like hedgehog. So his quills are like more elongated than Mrs. Q's. He's got a little tail that's much more pronounced than Mrs. Q's. He is definitely on the younger side, but he stands up quite tall. He himself is quite tall, and he's got kind of a little squishy snout. But the cool thing about the hedge race in general, and you notice it with this guy as well, all of the clothing that is available for hedges is built around the quills. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of see how, even though he is wearing armor, there is a very well-fitting kind of chest plate or chest pad for him in his leather armor. But the back is kind of all open to allow him to use his natural armor.
Question. So I have an ability called Stone Rune, which allows me
what?
Stone Rune.
Okay.
It's normally meant for like when we're in initiative. It says so. The ability says like when a creature you see ends its turn. So it's like an initiative thing.
Okay.
Am I able to use that like not in initiative? Like, so could I use that now?
Yeah, you could use it now.
Okay, so
You gonna hurt him?
well, no. So what? Okay, so what's so I say the picture. You know, Apoc is talking to this porcupine. Maybe Sir Basil's just sitting by the bar, just listening to his conversation, and he's just getting a little more and more agitated as he's just listening to it. So he finally just stands up, looks at the porcupine, and maybe like you see just like for a quick instant, like a white light appear in front of Sir Basil. And he's gonna try and charm this porcupine.
Yes.
So they gotta do a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-huh.
But you didn't give him modifiers.
Oh. Okay. Give me a second. What is it? Wisdom?
A wisdom saving throw. And they need to beat a 12.
What the hell, man? What was that? Stands up from his chair.
Look closer. Disadvantage.
I rolled the same thing.
Oh,
You have it, Basil. You have advantage on your next roll.
okay. So Basil just says, enough of this talk. We've been waiting forever. We're here to see Sir Idian. Clearly, like you can't keep us here waiting all night and all day. So trying to just brush off the fact that there's a light.
You're trying to brush off the fact that there's a light?
Yeah, just quickly ignore it and go to the fact of like, what the heck are we waiting here for? Like, why are you making us wait?
Go ahead and make a deception check.
With advantage.
He's going to contest it with his insight.
Where's my...
The same thing 3 times on this dice.
What?
I rolled 3 15s in a row.
Okay, yeah, I only rolled a 7.
I think you're the only one around here who can do magic. You know, the general's not going to be real happy when he hears that you attempted to meddle with your guard with magic.
Is the general gonna be happy that you kept us waiting all this time?
The general can do whatever the general wants to do. Maybe you don't know how to follow commands, but around here, we make sure to follow the general's command. And he kind of gets up and, sort of keeping an eye on you, walks, speaks to one of the guards outside, and walks back. And you wait.
You leans over to Basil and says, perhaps we just need to be patient.
I'm gonna take a swig of coffee.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's still coffee.
Basil just like huffs to himself and just sits down, just like dead eye staring at the guard.
Anybody else want some? Just offered to.
I'll have some.
All right, here you go, Elle. Roll a d20.
It was like actual prison for you guys.
19.
Yeah, coffee comes out. Pass it around.
Yeah.
Who else wants some?
Like, hey, Elle, if you're all hyped up on coffee, you want to play some knife games?
Oh boy.
Sure. You have a knife?
Pull
I
out
thought
one.
they took everything from us.
He has a knife?
So I pull out my dagger and I start playing some knife games with Elle, just to stick it to the guard.
Her wing like tips are spread out.
You know that game where you do it like through the fingers?
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna do that and like stare at the guard as I do it.
Oh, the guard has definitely gone and told somebody else about
Perfect.
this.
All right, let's go.
Okay, dexterity checks. Both of you. I think that's how we're gonna do this.
What is it, like 1 to 5 is a digit?
If you fail your dex check, yes, 1 to 5 would be a digit.
It's a 7.
It's a 4.
Oh my god. A 4? Why?
Yep.
Why you gotta do me like this? All right. Cam. You go to try and go as fast as you can, and you, as the guard kind of walks back in and sort of walks closer to your cell, you look up and you stab yourself straight through your hand at full speed,
Nice.
and you take 3 piercing damage with your
Love it.
dagger.
Oh, God.
Elle, as you go to like compete against Cam, trying to keep up. He's far too fast for you. And you like kind of almost cut your thumb off, but like get that webbing in between. Like it
Ooh.
hurts like hell. You take 2 points of piercing damage.
Mrs. Q, seeing all of this, do they both have knives, or is it just Cam who has the knife?
Yeah, we both got knives. I gave
We both
the
have
kid a
knives.
dagger.
I'm
Right.
assuming Cam has like 5 daggers somewhere.
I think so. That's about right.
Yeah. Cool.
Mrs. Q takes both knives from both of them. Her eyes turn bright red in anger, like legit actual red because she has the cantrips to do it. And she gives like the stare to if stares could cause damage, this would be the stare. And she looks at both of them and then focuses in on Cam and says, "You know better." And just holds the knives out the bars for the guard to come and take them.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll take that.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
As she walks back to the hearth, which is still going because why not? She like gives Cam a little smack on the back of the head as she walks by and grumbles.
I said, do not cause trouble. You guys could not last one day. I understand why Dace liked you.
I just hold up his feather.
That's messed up, man.
What do you mean? This is one of his.
Yeah, I can see that. He took a lot of mine.
Yeah, it's my coffee.
No,
Okay.
I came here because someone tried to cast magic. And apparently someone else has knives.
Well, you let me have them, so I don't know why you're upset about that.
If you have any more, you need to give them to me. There's no way you're going to be seeing General Sir Idian.
She just dropped my last 2 knives through the gate, through the fence.
If you have more, you need to make a deception check.
Oh, 21. 21.
Yeah, you definitely beat him. I spent all my luck on nothing important.
No.
I told the general that she should make you wait a day, but apparently you cannot be left here for another hour or you might cut a limb off.
You can put us to work.
No.
What's so
Unless you
bad?
want to work in chains.
What's so bad with losing a limb? You seem to make it work.
Mrs. Q like visibly cringes.
Elle is gonna just whisper, "Cam, that's kind of rude."
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I've spent 10 years with that one. And I somehow became general here, so I think I'll be fine. My feelings aren't that sensitive.
Figured.
However, you put these on. And he's going to toss some manacles to you because he does not trust you one bit, Camembert.
Right.
You want to see the general? You follow me.
As we're heading out, and before Cam puts his manacles on.
No, they're on. What are you doing?
There was no point in which this guy wasn't looking because I was gonna try and slip my manacles to Cam, in which I have the key.
Ajax is not taking his eyes off of you, dummies, after you almost cut off your hand. No, he's not looking away. Go ahead and make a stealth check. Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah. Guess he'll contest it with his perception.
The 12.
It's a 12.
Yeah, what's yours? I don't have advantage on this. I'm a boar.
What?
I'm a boar. I barely have hands.
Boar. Oh my god. It's a 12.
I mean, he sees it.
He sees it. Give him here.
Okay.
That's an order.
I.
Now,
Okay. Have those back later.
see.
All right. I thought we were friends.
And then you'll try to.
Wait, he just grabs with one hand and his stuff.
Yes, yeah, he's gesturing with his stump. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
This guy has the confidence of like a god.
All right.
He's gesturing with his stump.
All
I
right.
just there.
Sorry. Oh.
As you, unless anybody else is trying anything.
Elle is just gonna be nibbling on a good berry that she had in her bag. But now I'm realizing it might be more than 24 hours and it might not be that good. Okay. And it's like what, 1 hit point?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So she's kind of just nursing her hurt wing.
Oh. As you
I just want to walk and talk.
walk and talk.
Yeah, walk and talk.
Yeah. So just very quickly, as you go to leave the tent, it is late afternoon. So you were waiting a total of like 8 hours. And as you leave, your whole group is flanked. They're like, it is bustling in this courtyard. There are a lot more bodies moving around, and they are not, after the report of magic being cast, they're not taking any chances. They are flanking all of you. There's like double the number that there was yesterday, and Ajax is kind of leading the way. And as you walk, you are being led up the main stairwell towards the inner keep. Kind of getting back up to that wooden door as it opens up. You wanted to walk and talk? Apoc?
Yeah. Just like talking to Ajax. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but I think you got something unnatural nearby. You know, I got like a sixth sense about weird things, and I don't know, there's something that it just doesn't feel right. Like some fiendish presence.
Fiendish.
Yeah. I'm pretty well versed, and I know my way in and out of the mountain, but I can call it a sixth sense, but just keep your eyes out.
You can see him kind of think for a second. Thanks, kid.
Yeah.
He'll kind of like reserve himself just a little bit as he's seems to be pondering what you said.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to talk about.
As you are led up the staircase, the gate itself towards this inner keep, this heavy wooden door with a iron bolt, an iron bar across it, is like pushed open by Ajax as he goes. And when you enter, you're kind of in this foyer area. You see off to your left, you see a wooden door with a grate over top of it, kind of like the extra security at the mall where they put bars over top of their doorways when they close. It looks to be kind of locked tight. You see a double set of doors off to your right. They're open just a crack, and you can kind of hear some like coughing, some whimpering from the inside of the door, and you can hear a voice just kind of, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. Just let the potion take hold, it'll heal you. You can hear some murmuring on the other side of the door. But you are led to the third door, up kind of another very small set of stairs. It's a little tight. And you are led into this great hall esque area. You're deep into the mountain now. It's not as open as it was. This room is kind of closed in a dome, almost like an air pocket. And the walls here are sort of roughly carved, roughly hewn. It's almost like basalt columns. You can see that they've been turned almost into like little shelves. You can see some plates stacked up. A long table has been pushed off to one side. And there are a lot of torches providing the only light in this area that are just sort of continuously burning with this very low glow. And sitting kind of at the front of the room, the back of the room, on the other side of the door, in a chair, arms crossed, just sort of waiting. A gerbine on her right, and a very big burly Vulcan on her left. You see a servant woman. There is a red bandana kind of covering one half of her face, along with the eye on that face. You can see an ear on one side, the side of the bandana that seems to have been badly scarred, half of it missing. And you can see a like yellow tunic over top of some heavy chainmail. There is a long sword at her hip, a scabbard that's very beautiful and very well carved. It seems to have been made of leather with like imprints and branding along the sheath of it herself. She's wearing massive leather gauntlets that kind of look battle worn. You can see like long scratches along the gauntlets where it looks like they've taken hits from daggers, from swords themselves. And you can see the side of her face that isn't covered in a bandana, long scars that seem to disappear into her neckline itself. You're all sort of led into the center of this room, Ajax kind of leading the way, giving a little bit of a salute, like fist to the chest, a little bit of a bow before standing behind the servant. She kind of gives the same salute back. And as she regards you all with her one good eye, you can see very, very deer-like features, I should actually say, servant being the deer folk of this world. Regarding you all, as the door kind of slams shut behind you. Well, you said you had urgent business. What do you want? I'm a busy woman. We have things to do.
Mrs. Q, looking to her left and her right, to her companions, thinking that maybe she should talk, steps forward and says, gosh.
We're here for peace treaty.
Yeah, I know.
As you step forward, Mrs. Q, as you step forward, you hear there are a lot of soldiers in this room. And as you go to take one step forward, you hear everybody like draw their blade an inch. Like on high alert.
Okay. That's fine. Mrs. Q's not that fussed.
Just waddles up.
Yeah, she doesn't go like right up to Sir Idian. She just sort of like steps forward as like I'm speaking for my group kind of movement, and says, Sir Idian, we have come very far in order to have an audience with you, and we are thankful that you have made the time to meet with us. We're here because there has been a lack of peace between the people who are living in the wood and the people who are living in the mountains, and we think it's high time that ended. There seems to be a common enemy in Alderheart, in Humblewood, that is affecting people indiscriminately. And you seem very powerful, and you have found a way of protecting your people, but are struggling to find the food you need. And the folks who are lower in altitude are having the opposite problem. So we think maybe it's time for us to strike some kind of peace treaty between the two groups so that we can help each other against the common enemy.
That's cute.
I've never been called that.
Did you spend the 8 hours that you were waiting thinking of that?
You were a lot.
Or did the council tell you to say that?
Huh?
Or did the council tell you to say that?
No, the council didn't tell us to say that. We come because we think it's important. We went to the council suggesting that they help the rest of Humblewood, which they currently are unable to do because they are trying to fend off your men and women who are fighting on your behalf. So would it not be beneficial if we all stopped fighting each other and instead worked together?
Sure, yeah, sounds great. When the council stops ignoring our messengers, when the council decides to take us seriously and sit down with us, but every messenger I've sent hasn't come back.
Well, we are messengers sent from Alderheart, so why don't we?
So you do speak for the council then?
We came because they suggested we do. We are here because we think it's important. We would not have come otherwise. Trust me. It was a long walk for an old lady.
Can't argue with that. I'm surprised you made it up the mountain.
Maybe we shouldn't align ourselves with the council.
Are you saying that out loud to Mrs. Q?
Yeah.
She just turns to it's a little late for that, yeah.
Tell me something. Why are a group of humble folk doing the council's bidding?
Because we're all part of the same system. We're all part of the same wood, feeding off the same land, struggling with the same problems.
Maybe you should be talking to the council about this.
We tried. You know, they wanted to send an army here. We went instead. That's why we came.
The army wouldn't have found this place.
In due time, something finds everything.
Okay.
She like opens her mouth and she's like,
I would be very interested, Sir Idian, to hear what it is that you would want from the council in order to make peace. We are not here with the impression that the council are without fault, but we have to stop focusing on the faults. Otherwise, we're just going to be falling into the same problems over and over and over again. And your forces will be depleted, their forces will be depleted. And at some point, the fire that is scorching the earth is going to take over, and it will not miss the mountains.
her ear kind of flicks as you mentioned the fire scorching the earth. And she's going to like stand up. You can see her full height now. She is going on like 7 feet. She is imposing. And she kind of walks towards you, kind of looks you in the eye. Mrs. Q, I need a persuasion check. And she kind of looks each of you.
Can I
boring down.
Add to it and help Mrs. Q by just interjecting and saying, you know, the fires have hit Brackenmill already?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's,
Yeah.
You can roll with advantage. You mean Brackenmill or do you mean?
I
Ashborough?
had Brackenmill written down when we met Brom them a pack. They're from Eastern
Right.
Alderheart, and they told us that Brackenmill had burned.
Right. Okay, so with advantage,
18.
18. They've been a lot farther south than Bracken. I would know. I was there.
You're looking at me.
No one offered me help. No one offered me help except the people who lived here.
Wait, did you go to the council and ask?
Sure did.
Guys, it's like looking at us in 4 years. We did the same thing.
They don't listen,
No,
do they?
no.
Which means they need to be taught a lesson, don't they?
You like pats Apoc on the shoulder in an attempt to get him to stop with everything she's saying.
Well, you didn't listen. She's not wrong.
That's no excuse for the kind of violence that we are seeing. Absolutely none.
I agree. So make them listen.
The violence is coming from both sides. If you are so strong and so powerful and so well equipped, then you have to be able to find another way. Otherwise, you are no different.
I am flattered, really. Strong, powerful, well equipped. That's kind of been my whole mission, is to give the humble folk here a voice. Tell me, were you in Alderheart? Did you see a lot of humble folk there? Were they comfortable? Were they equal? I'm gonna guess no.
Did we? It was mostly birds, right?
In the higher tiers.
Yeah.
Bird folk were quite dominant, weren't they?
Huh?
The bird folk were quite dominant, living the high life. Tell me, did you see a council member for humble folk
We saw a lot.
on the council?
There was a Gerbine. There was a yes.
Okay.
There was Layla, cute, big yellow eyes. There was a strig. There was Berthold, a raptor, Gallus, a peachin, a Luma, and there's a Corvum. Corvum.
Elle says to Apoc, those are all birds.
There was a fox. But the fox was just like writing stuff down.
What did the fox say?
Oh, gosh. Oh, Simcoe's.
I swear there was a dream like this song.
I mean, I count 5 bird folk.
Yeah.
One
And
of each, right? Or am I losing my mind?
Oh, there's no need to be cynical here. It is unbecoming.
You're in no position to call anybody here.
And huh?
Yeah, sorry, Georgina. You're in no position to call anybody dear here. And once more, you hear kind of like,
God. No. Oops.
oops.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, yeah, I stuck my foot in my mouth there. If I may ask, what exactly is your plan? And is it working?
Oh, it's working. It's working. The council's going to get what they deserve. They'll finally listen to us. The humble folk can have a voice and can have equal say in what goes on in this wood. And no humble folk is going to be left to die by the fires. You can see her ear kind of twitch again.
You realize that's already happening, right?
I do. I also know that Ajax here has told you the majority of the people in this place are here in the infirmary. They're not soldiers. Who do you think is taking the people who are being hurt?
Alderheart's doing the same thing. They are inundated with refugees from the entire countryside.
Are they taking care of these refugees? Or are they shoving them down to the roots? Because that's what they did with me.
They don't have the capacity. There is a limited amount of space. Freaking Apoc.
It's true.
Sir Basil kind of chimes in and just says, "You've seen it yourself. Both humble folk of the mountains and those in Elderheart fight the same enemy. Not each other, but the fires that are encroaching. There is a bigger battle at hand. We can't not waste time fighting one another."
I know. Go ahead and make another persuasion check. Again, with advantage for everyone who's chiming in.
I'm helping.
I'm helping by smiling.
Oh my gosh. An 8?
8.
Oof.
She kind of like
On a roll, it's good. Then when I really need it, it's terrible.
she kind of looks at you, and it's like 7 feet tall. There's like a 5-foot difference between the two of you, just FYI. And
Intimidated. It's just like this little guy nose up to her.
yeah, and she is just kind of looking. She does not kneel to get on height with you. No. I know that there are fires. I'm well aware. I also know that my people are suffering at the hands of the council. So, unless you can offer me some assurance that the council hasn't imprisoned my messengers when I tried to reach out, and that they're not just desperate now that they've realized that we can fight and hold our ground, unless you can offer me some assurance that they actually want peace, I'll believe it when I see it. Hope you didn't come all this way for that.
To the group, do we have anything from the council, Uma? The
She gave us something, right? This is off book.
we just have something that can contact her.
She gave you a scroll, a sending scroll
Mhm.
that can contact the council. Camembert has a map. I don't think that's much use. I don't think she gave anything else.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of this one.
Through the sending scroll, can they contact us back, or is it just a one-way?
Trying to think. This is Q, I think, might be the only one who knows the scroll. Yeah, we can say that she would have told you. We can say that she would have told you, the councilwoman would have told you how the scroll kind of works. You can, in a brief message, you can contact her and she can confirm whether the message was received or not. So like she could send a brief message back, but it seems like a one-time use.
Okay.
Should we use that?
If you, sorry, back in counter now. If you can give us your demands in detail, we can make sure this message gets to the highest part of the council. No imprisonment, and we will make sure that you get a response.
Just as another quick side note, she also said, the counselor also said that, I believe she said that the bandits would have to come to Alderheart to make the peace, or did she mean in Brackenmill? Okay, Brackenmill. The councilwoman, the speaker, said that she would meet in Brackenmill on neutral ground, just as a heads up. That was another thing that was said.
Okay,
But as for your point, what are the demands, and you can make sure that they get to her. You can see Sir Idian kind of eye you up, Mrs. Q. Go ahead and give me one more persuasion check.
$14.
I want the violence to stop too. My demands are that Alderheart opens their doors, shares their resources. We'll do the same. They can't keep taking in refugees and sending them down to the roots to die after they get sick. They can't leave them in the middle of the fields. And they can't reject sending help to the outer-lying villages. And they need to figure out how to stop these fires. They say they've been working on it, but they've been burning for years. They have the whole avium that's been running. Time to mobilize the wizards, I think.
Have you ever heard about wild waters?
What?
Well, there's wildfires, but like on our way here, we also got hit by this massive tidal wave. It's weird, eh?
Did you come by boat, maybe?
No,
Yeah, it's weird.
just south of the mountains. We all got hit by it.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
You're inland.
yeah.
You got hit by water inland.
Yes, I got hit by water and land. Am I look like I'm like? Do I look like I'm stuttering? Yes, maybe a little bit. But I got hit by water. She got hit by water. You got hit by water. They got hit by water.
He's telling the truth.
Elle is gonna nod and say it was magical too.
Weird, eh?
Aren't you? We have some young ones in our group too. It's fine. I don't see how that's currently my problem.
No, but
And I don't see how that contributes to this discussion.
there's wildfires. There's also wild waters now. There's two threats.
But I've seen the fires.
Okay, I'm telling you about the waters. So
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Can you get my demands to the council or not?
Would you be willing to meet to discuss them further in detail? In neutral ground?
Neutral ground.
Yep.
The council's gonna leave Alderheart.
Yep. Bracken Mill.
Bracken Mill.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna put down in my pocket the emery board, and I'm going to say, can I make a suggestion? If you're gonna make demands, maybe make a little bit more, so that if you have to compromise, you still get what you want.
I like you. I like you a lot. Yeah, fine. Here are my demands. Everything I said. If the council truly wants to meet on neutral ground, sure, why not have them walk through Bracken Mill and see what the fires have done? Let's have them leave Alderheart. There's a farm, was a farm, just north of Bracken Mill. It's ash now. I want them to meet there. Any of my men that they've caught, I want them to bring them with them. I want them released. And let's say that there'll be a maximum number of guard. I'll abide by it too. let's say they have any more than one per person, one per council member there, and I'll consider it a threat and leave. They agree to all of that. And I guess I'll make my way to Bracken Hill.
How do we tell you if they agree or not?
Doesn't seem like my problem, does it, messenger?
Hey,
Her words, not mine.
she's a messenger. We're her escort.
Not my problem, escort. I feel like messenger was a better title. I like you. Why are you manacled? She kind of looks over to Ajax, and he just like,
It's a long story.
long story.
We have a way of contacting the council. We will use it and we will get word to you about a time for the meeting.
If they agree, I'll keep my hopes low. How can I trust you? You
Mrs.
gonna have their paper or token?
We let you lock us
Mrs.
up. I willfully put manacles on, and we haven't made any ill gestures other than against our own selves to disturb anything that you have going on here.
In addition, well, is that convincing? I would like to know if that's convincing enough before I do the next.
No, you started your sentence. Please continue.
All right.
I'd like to hear your in addition if I'm stretching my desires.
Mrs. Q casts Zone of Truth.
Are you trying to do this stealthily? Hold on, let me see Zone of Truth here.
I don't think it's possible to do it stealthily. I think everyone knows. Yeah. An affected creature is aware of the spell.
An affected creature is aware of the spell? Okay. Let me just, okay, Zone of Truth here. Where are you? Zone of Truth. Verbal and somatic. So there is a component, takes an action to do this. There is a component where you are speaking a phrase and moving your hands like in a pattern to cast this spell.
Okay. And I think that there's a charisma save too. So it
There is a charisma save. I'm just wondering if you get to that point because you are about to cast magic in a room full of guards on their general, both of their generals.
Wait, where are you casting? Are you casting on them or us?
including, it's anyone in a 15-meter radius, so it includes everyone.
15 feet.
15-foot radius.
In
Yeah.
But hang on. 60 foot / 15 foot. I don't know.
Yo, if they want to
Anyway.
start something, let them start something. Let's go.
So 60 feet, like your range is up to 60 feet away from you. The area affected is 15 feet diameter.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you could get the majority of this room and everybody in it, but you're still like casting something without, you know, it's like reaching into your pockets when you have like a knife pointed at you kind of situation. It's jumpy and it's scary and they know what magic is.
Well, she asked me to finish my sentence.
All right, you go to cast this.
What, do you say something? You should be like, I cast this
You hear, you go to cast this spell, you start speaking, you start moving your hands around. Sir Idian is right in front of you as her eyes kind of like go wide. She reaches for her sword, and as she does so, everybody else reaches for their sword as well. And there's this like, don't you dare, stop what you're doing now. There's this whole like, you know, you hear bows being drawn kind of situation. Do you stop or do you continue? You kind of see every, like,
I was gonna
steal. Elle is going to
Is Elle still very close to Mrs. Q? Is she like right behind her?
You haven't moved, so you're all kind of clustered. And in this split second, as Mrs. Q is starting to cast this spell, everybody draws their bow. Tensions are high. What are you doing?
So if I'm gonna cast something, but the range is just self, but if Elle is very close to everybody, would it cover folks around us, or even if Elle gets as close to Mrs. Q as she can, so it would be covering both of them?
What's the spell? I would say no, but what's the spell?
Elle, she responds by casting Gust Barrier. It's one of her cantrips.
Okay. Let me read it.
So it just...
Go ahead.
You spread your arms, allowing yourself to become enveloped by air until the end of your next turn. Any ranged attack made against you is done with disadvantage. So Elle is just really trying to, if anything's coming at... So she might even just cast this on herself, just as a precaution, but if she can't get it around Mrs. Q.
It's against you specifically in the spell description. So you can cast it and you feel it. As Mrs. Q is doing this, you start your own hand gestures with your somatic component.
Yeah, Elle's gonna start this because some might go down, just in case.
So we have 2 casters currently casting spells. Everybody in this room yelling stop. If anybody is doing anything, Mrs. Q, if you are letting your spell fizzle in this moment, anybody, you like one thing. If Mrs. Q is continuing her spell, you hear the twang of arrows being loosed from crossbows.
At Mrs. Q or at everybody?
At your cluster of group.
Apoc
Again
grabs a quill and just like you see this barrier of quills in front of him specifically, just as a spiny shield appears. I'm increasing my AC by 2.
I didn't think they'd be this jumpy.
It's okay, don't worry. It's too late.
Okay,
We got something here.
all right, so there's 5 of you, yeah? As you were walking towards this room, there was at least 2 per. So there was 10 of you plus Ajax walking towards this room. When you entered into this room, there was Sir Idian, Brenna Sir Idian, a Derby on her left, and a Vulpin on her right. So Ajax is here. They left 2 guards outside. There's 4 plus 8. There's 12 in here. There's 12 in here.
12 bandits around us, including like Ajax and Sir Idian.
There's 12 in here total.
Okay.
Is
Ajax,
that your D20?
that's my D12.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
rolled to see how many of them have crossbows.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
rolled a 10. So you are each going to take 2 arrows towards you.
Can you describe like this, like spacing in this room?
Oh, this is
How
infuriating.
about I just send you a map?
Yes, please. I want to get an idea of spacing.
This is
Or, I mean, it is 10:15. How about we stop there?
freaking.
Unless you want to keep going. It's late.
I'm so mad.
What does the group want to do?
I'm not opposed.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going just for a bit.
I need to know this again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me send you
Oh my god.
a link. Okay, so I have to make a couple changes to this map. So give me a hot second here. Okay, so you are located. Yeah, so that's Ajax. This is Brenna. So you can move all of your little characters into this room. Sorry, it's so small. There is a.
Where do you want to be, hon?
I should be in front. I'm like right close to Sir Idian.
Just keep pulling. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's a couple more in here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, and there was a Georgina. There we go. Okay. All right, so you were all in the middle of the room. They were all kind of around the room here. Not a very big room. So your zone of truth can get everybody. Okay, so 10 of them are going to let loose crossbows at you. Let's see, the 10 is going to be, so Sir Idian doesn't have one, they don't have one. They do 1, 2, 3, 3.
Can I try and make myself big to take the bulk of them? Or at least protect Mrs. Q?
1, 2, 3. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Woo!
Yeah, it's basically all of them except for like Ajax and Sir Idian.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so now here's the thing. We have a couple people who are casting. Okay, who is casting? Elle casts something, Mrs. Q casts something, Apoc casts something.
Mine's a reaction of
Here's a
getting
reaction.
hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Elle and Mrs. Q, you are the casters. You are going to be taking the majority of the arrows from this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy who's right next to you, Mrs. Q, and this guy who's right next to you, Elle.
So was I able to get complete my cantrip?
You're close to Mrs. Q, you said, right?
I was trying to be like my intention with casting this was to see if it could help both of us.
Got it. Okay.
'Cause,
Sorry, Basil, I'm
yeah.
going to just move you so I know where everyone is here.
Yep, no problem.
It's a tight room. Okay, so you're going to be, your thing is way too big. Turn that off. So the two of you at the front, your barrier only works on you. It does not encompass Mrs. Q. So you are going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But if the cantrip worked, any ranged attack made against me is done with disadvantage.
Right. So you're going to take 3 arrows at disadvantage to you, Elle.
Yeah.
So that's, 2 doesn't make it. That's going to be a 16.
That'll hit me.
Okay, and the last one, so you only get one hit, which is 6 piercing damage to you. Mrs. Q, you are going to get, that was 3 to Elle, you are going to get 3 towards you. That's going to hit. That's a 23,
No.
22, 13 to hit you. Oh, that's all 3. So 2 out of those.
And I couldn't block any of them.
Oh, shoot.
I wanted to just try and get like protect Mrs. Q from like whatever side that I'm on.
I wanted to try and do something too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
let's do you first. So you.
If I can't block in front, like at least the side that I'm on. I don't know. Your call.
You're just throwing your body in the way.
Yeah.
Just make a dex save as you dive.
No. 13.
13.
It's canny. This is good. This is good. There's a tension.
This is some action. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort this out on the fly. Here we go. 13. Technically, 2 would have hit Mrs. Q. Yeah, you block one of them with a 13.
No, not like interpose, like take the hit. Not just trying
That's
to.
what
Yeah.
I mean.
Okay.
So as you dive, I'm just
Yeah.
as I was working my way down,
Yeah.
you're able to this one here, Apoc. Oh, that doesn't work.
That's fine. You can see it.
This one here. Because the way I went was
There you go.
down the first 2 hits. So yeah, you're able to take 1 hit. So Apoc takes 5 piercing.
Okay.
Mrs. Q, you take 6 piercing. Basil, unless sorry, you were doing something as well.
Yeah. So okay.
You do have like Mrs. Q is on a diagonal from you right now. So anything you're about to do is going to be harder because you have Elle and Apoc kind of blocking your way. You don't have a straight shot at Mrs. Q and the arrows that are coming to her.
Okay. So I'll tell you what I'm thinking. You tell me if it's like too far-fetched or if I can bother. All right. So I have an ability where I can make like spectral blades kind of just swarm around me.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Sir Basil were to lunge towards the archers and then the spectral blades come out and it's just almost like a blade just cutting the arrows in the air as they're being shot.
Is this a reaction?
It's technically it's a cantrip action.
It's an action. They have the jump on you. You do not have the you didn't start casting the spell early before they shot. So I'm gonna say you probably don't get this spell off.
Okay.
As they shoot towards you.
Okay.
This time? Right click on the bar.
Okay. So come on. There we go. Right. So in that moment, as this guy and this guy shoot towards you, Basil. That one's not going to hit. Yeah, 22 to hit.
Yeah.
4 piercing damage as it lodges into your 2 Apocs. As it lodges into your just under your armor. And then these 2 here, Camembert, are going to shoot towards you. Oops, that didn't work. Not on a 2. Does a 16 hit you, Camembert?
Yes, it does. And am I considered restrained?
Yes.
Okay.
So they have advantage.
Yeah, all of the shots have
You have
advantage.
advantage.
But restrained is your speed is
No.
0, right?
That's grappled.
That's grappled.
That's restrained, but my legs aren't restrained.
Oh.
So
But you're
Yeah.
in retrospect
16 hits either way, so we're
16 hits. Yeah. So you take 6 piercing damage. It's not a whole lot. They're not gonna drop you. Doesn't really matter. It's more just like thematic. But also it hurts. So as this flurry of arrows comes towards you, piercing almost all of you, I think, have been pierced by these arrows, taking some damage, just kind of stumbling for a second. It does interrupt. It does interrupt your casting unless you're trying to finish the cast, Mrs. Q.
I am at this point. I am finishing this cast.
Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. See if you can keep your concentration.
Is that a D20?
It's a D20 plus your Constitution save.
Can it be with advantage because like Apoc?
No.
It's a 9.
Oh man, you needed a 10 to keep the concentration.
No.
The pain is just a little too much as you lose your spell mid-cast. Like a trickle of blood kind of coming from where the arrow has pierced you just right under your clavicle. You see Sir Idian kind of taking one step back, hand on her hilt. Anybody else want to try anything? Bring them back to the jail, let them stew. As the guards kind of swarm around you to bring you back, I think that's probably where we'll end it.
What the heck? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we gotta kill all these guys.
No, this Sir Idian character is pissing me off. So.
I mean, that was kind of warranted.
You started casting a spell without telling her.
You didn't announce.
Told me to finish my sentence.
You didn't announce anything. That's why I said
You shouldn't have to.
because they have arrows.
But well,
You should have said like, I had this spell which will allow no one to tell a lie or something, and then do it.
No.
Instead, for all they knew, you were gonna cast a fireball and like torch them.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
I
But they
think
didn't.
I think you did a great job, Mrs. Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so real. Oh man.
The
Trying to keep everyone honest.
The tensions were very, very high. Cam probably could have thrown like the emery board and that would have had the same reaction, you know, like it was tense. Maybe not quite that reaction, but
Yeah. For a second, I was just like, "Yo, this is it, guys. It was a good campaign." You know,
Nah, we're good.
Weird of arrows.